Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am going to be doing today a talk about my pregnancy journey so far, just to give you a bump update. I'm going for a walk with my dog, by the way. That's Tilly. Say hi, Tilly. My baby boy is now 29 weeks, almost 30 weeks, which is just crazy. It's so funny because I went for like the whole of first trimester just thinking it was going so slow. And then I feel like second trimester just went by with the click of a finger, and now I'm up to third trimester. I'm a few weeks in and I've just been loving the experience still so far, which is amazing. I feel so blessed. Today I want to chat about pregnancy and also some other questions because I put up a question box on Instagram and I got some like random kind of questions too. So I'm actually excited to hopefully delve into those as well. If I end up chatting too long about pregnancy, maybe I'll delve into those questions in the next video. So I'll see how much time I have. But like one of the questions was even about modesty, which it's kind of a passion of mine, so I'm actually excited to talk about it if I get time. But we may leave that for another day as well, because I could probably make almost a whole episode just on that. I have been asked a fair few questions about the pregnancy journey so far, and I've kind of put them into different categories. So instead of just answering every single question individually, because there was like a fair bit of double ups, there was also questions that I guess revolve around the same, like very closely to the same topic, and so I'd rather just kind of answer them all together. Hopefully I end up getting through them all. I didn't write them down and I'm going for a walk. I love to chat while I walk. That could be a rookie error. We'll see how we go. The first questions were all about trimester 2, my experience with it, and I just want to firstly say I loved trimester 2. You know, people, I've heard it being said before that it's like the honeymoon of your pregnancy, and I really do believe it. It's literally just such a beautiful time. The bump's not too big and uncomfortable. You know, everything just feels amazing. You're usually better from sickness. Like obviously every pregnancy is different and everyone has different experiences, but for my experience, I was just feeling so energetic. I was doing probably 5 to 10 kilometer runs every day still, like most days in trimester 2. There wasn't many days that I didn't go for runs, and none of them were, when I didn't go, they weren't because like I was feeling too uncomfortable or anything. It was usually just because I was too busy, ran out of time. It was also a season for me of finishing up a lot of my duties, I should call them, with JC Action Sports, which is my husband's ministry business that he runs. Pretty much doing like I was like the full-time media person, so it did take up a lot of my time, and it just meant I couldn't like create lots of videos like this, and I couldn't really do all the things I'm super passionate about, which is like health, wellness, fitness. I mean, I love watching my babe on a bike, but I'm not really passionate about bikes, you know what I mean? Anyway, it was a really fun season for me to be able to do that, but now just in the last few weeks, so just pretty much when I finished trimester 2, I think, I have passed it on. We've now got this awesome dude doing it for us, and he's just really good at it. Like I was not good at it. I just did it because it saved us a lot of money. But now, like paying someone who can actually do a really good job, it's going to be way better for the business. And now it frees me up, which is so sweet. So I was finishing up all that kind of stuff in trimester 2 as well. But yeah, life was just so good. So trimester 3 questions, people were asking like, how did you find the transition? Is it any different? Are you starting to get uncomfortable now that your bump is bigger? Have you changed anything from trimester 2 to trimester 3 regarding like food intake, exercise, things like that? So I want to answer those questions. So with a lot of the research I've done in regards to food intake during pregnancy, I kind of come to the conclusion that for me personally, I probably in trimester 2, I would have needed about an extra 250 to 300 calories of food extra per day on top of my usual amount. Now, usually, so for the past few years, for those who haven't been following along much, you may not have heard me speak about the way that I love to maintain my body weight, and I just love my current lifestyle. And so I've been maintaining for a few years now. Like I haven't been in any sort of cut or surplus or anything. I've just been able to maintain a really healthy weight where I feel good. I feel like I can run without, you know, like getting sore and getting injured and things like that. And it's just a really good feeling being able to maintain. And so I roughly keep track of my daily food intake. And by that, I mean, I do calorie count, I guess, but it's not like a strict calorie count. I don't enter anything into an app. I've just, for so many years, I worked out how much my body needs. I worked out how to know if it needs different amounts, so to change it as different seasons happen. And then I know like the kind of food that I eat, like I know what's in it. I know what it's made up of. I know how much energy is in this, how many calories in there. I know whether it's a good amount of protein in there. And so I always focus on a really good amount of protein each day and also a certain amount of calorie intake each day. But I just roughly, like it's never a strict number. It's always just like a rough calculation in my mind during the day. So I know whether to eat more or whether I don't need any more. And that's what I've been doing for a few years now. So currently I'm about to say just how much weight I've put on. So if that is something that may trigger you, because I know a lot of the times people don't, like a lot of people may not like to hear about weight gain and things like that. It might be a sensitive topic for you. So I'm about to mention that. So maybe like skip the next minute or two if you don't really want to hear it. So in this pregnancy so far, I've put on 6 kilos, and I've estimated, so before I actually like when I first conceived, I kind of calculated around about how much for my weight and everything that I was before I conceived. I kind of worked out like a healthy amount for me regarding like, so, you know, using the government guidelines, like the government information they give you, but also just knowing my body. And I've estimated that by now I probably should have put on about 8 kilos, but I'm a little bit under that. I'm probably about 6.2, 6.4 maybe. It fluctuates each day because, as you guys know, the scales are always fluctuating, but I weigh myself every morning. It's not a trigger point for me, and I just love being able to keep a track of it. So I think I'm tracking along nicely. There has been a fair few days where I have not been able to meet my energy requirements in food, which is a little bit annoying because I'm like, I feel like I'm hungry some days, but I feel too full in my belly, you know what I mean? So it's a little bit hard to reach it sometimes, but overall, I feel like I've been able to reach it fairly well probably about half the days, and then there's probably half the days where I know I'm probably not fully reaching it, but I'm still happy with the amount of 6 kilos that I've put on so far. And what I've kind of calculated, was in trimester 2 about 250 to 300 calories extra per day, and then now I'm up to around about 400 extra per day, and maybe when I'm further in the 30 something weeks I may increase it to 450 to 500 calories extra per day. But it's just going to be depending on how I feel, I guess, as well, and how much I can actually put in to my body. But the great thing is, I guess, is that I probably will end up, so I'm going to combine like the exercise questions and stuff like that here as well, but I probably will end up having to decrease the amount of exercise that I do. So that's going to decrease my energy expenditure, which will then make it easier for me to hit those extra calories. So I think it will kind of even it out naturally without me having to focus on it too much, but we'll see how we go. So currently my exercise from trimester 2 to trimester 3 hasn't really changed too much. I would think the main thing that's changed is I have definitely decreased the distance of my runs, and I've definitely slowed down my run. So I've still been going for a run most days, but not every day. There has been a few days in trimester 3 so far where I've felt too uncomfortable to run, and I've just been listening to my body and just don't go for a run. I usually just go for a walk or a bike ride or something that's going to be lower impact and still make me feel really good and still get the mental and emotional benefits from exercise without putting my body under too much pressure. I've decreased my runs for sure. I'm usually doing most days still around 5 kilometers. But it was probably a little bit more than that on average for most days in trimester 2, and now it's definitely 5 is probably the amount I do most days. But then some days I've even been just doing 3 if I don't feel like I have that much energy to do more. So it just kind of depends, but I've still been doing my 5 reformer Pilates sessions a week. As the trimester goes on, I'll probably end up doing a couple of like big, more stretch and mobility kind of sessions and less of the intense kind of sessions. But I guess we'll see how we go. I'll just take it day by day. I have no expectations on myself. My aim is to get into the Pilates studio 5 days a week, but like some of those days may end up being more of a stretch session and not really like a strength session. So I'll just see how I feel each day and just, as I said, take it as it comes. And I've still been obviously going for dog walks like every day. Since I work from home, a lot of the times it's just like, I'm like, hey Tilly, I need to move my body. Let's go for a quick walk around my area that I live, which I love my area. So I feel very blessed. I'm going to be having my baby boy here. I think that probably answers a lot of the food intake and exercise questions about trimester 3. But yeah, I'll keep you guys updated with how it goes, especially as I need to increase my calories or decrease my energy expenditure. Either way, I will keep you guys updated, and make sure you are following me on Instagram if you're not already, because I do post like regular kind of like story updates and things like that on there, rather than just waiting for these bigger updates on YouTube. But I do love YouTube updates because I can obviously speak a lot more and fit a lot more information in there, especially if I talk this fast. I can fit so much into still a short video and not use up too much of your time. If you have any things you want me to talk about, even just messaging me through Instagram or through here on YouTube, through the comment sections or whatever on any of my videos, I always read them, so thank you so much. And yeah, if you have any topics that you want me to delve into, please just let me know. Some other questions I've been asked around pregnancy. I've been asked whether we have a name, and the answer is yes. So as you guys would have known from my previous videos, and I talk about it all the time on Instagram, I'm having a baby boy and I'm so excited. But we just really did think that it was a baby girl. I was team boy, but Jordan was so sure it was a girl, and he's never wrong. So I was like, yeah, I'm guessing we're having a girl. And so we had a few girl names that we were kind of agreeing on, but not fully. And we didn't have any boys' names. So then when we found out we're having a boy, we're like, uh-oh. Anyway, we ended up working out a name that's just so beautiful. And I can tell already it's just going to suit him so much. Like I just love him so much. And it's so hard for me not to say it, because I'll just be chatting to him and I'll be like, so say if his name was Bob, right? It's not Bob, by the way. But say if his name was Bob, I'd be like, hi, Bob, good morning, Bob. That sounds so wrong. I can't even use that as an example. It just sounds so wrong. He's not Bob. But you know what I mean? It's just like I always talk to him and use his name and pray for him and use his name. And it's so beautiful. And then when I'm chatting to people, I'm like, yeah, and then my baby boy, because I actually obviously try and not tell anyone his name, so I have not even leaked it yet. I'm very proud of myself, but oh my gosh, there's no wood around here. I can't knock on wood. I really hope, I really hope that I don't mess it up and accidentally share his name with the world. But we also have a middle name too now chosen. So we did just have a first name, and we're pretty stuck on a middle name. We're just wondering whether we should go with like a theme for our kids for their middle names, or whether we should more go towards like a special meaning. Anyway, we've chosen a really special middle name, which I know it's going to mean a lot to a lot of people. So I'm really excited for them to find out, especially. It won't mean a lot to a lot of other people. They won't even know what it is. But there's a group of people that I think it will really mean a lot to, and so I'm really excited to be able to introduce him to the world when he comes out. So since I'm almost 30 weeks, full term's considered, here in Queensland at least, I don't know whether it's different in different states, I don't know, but here in Queensland at least, it's full term is considered anywhere from 37 to 42 weeks. And I know, don't come at me guys, don't come at me. I know I should be more like counting down from like the longer end of the scale, but I just have a feeling it's going to come early. And I know people say, oh, first time mums always think their kids are going to come early and then they come late. I know this, and so I know that the numbers, that the luck is probably against me, and that our baby boy might wait until like 42 weeks to come out. Please, in Jesus' name, don't. But anyway, I just for some reason have this big feeling it's going to come early. And 3 weeks, so 37 weeks is exactly my birth date. So if he came at exactly 37 weeks, it's my birthday. And I'm like, I would love to share my birthday with him. Like I would love it. I would love it so much. So I'm like, God, please help him to come out on exactly 37 weeks. But anyway, we'll see. He's going to come out in the perfect timing, when the time is just right and he's fully developed and everything's good. I'm just going to speak that into existence right now. And so know that that's my main prayer, but at the same time, I'm also praying he comes at 37 weeks. Then I can meet him sooner and he can share a birthday with me. How fun would that be? Anyway, okay. I know that sounds very immature, but that's just my hope, and I will not be disappointed if he comes out later. So I'm like, man, well, that's only in just over 7 weeks. That's like soon. But it also could be 5, 12. It also could be 12 weeks if he comes at 42. So, and that's ages away. So, I mean, yeah, anyway, we'll see. I might just count down from in the middle and count down from 40 weeks. And then it's like, okay, I have just over 10 weeks to go. But still, I know it's going to come really quickly, so I'm super excited. There are other questions that were asked were more around like, how many kids do you guys want? Like, do you have a preference in the gap, like the age gap and things like that? So I thought I might answer those kind of things together. I've always wanted 5 kids, and Jordan's always been really happy with that. Like so Jordan is 1 of 9, so I feel like no number's gonna surprise him. And he's just like, yeah, 5 sounds all right. Like, he's just really not fussed. And I'm like, I could picture 5. And in the last couple of months, I'm not even kidding, for some reason I've been like thinking 6. 6 just always comes in my mind now. Like, when I picture my family, once we've had all of our kids around our massive kitchen table, I just picture Jordan and myself and 6 kids. Like, I just picture it, and I'm like, I think we're gonna have 6, babe. I was like, is that okay? He's like, yeah, I don't mind, what's an extra one? Anyway, so we see how we go. I know a couple of people have said to me, as I've mentioned it to them, they've been like, oh, wait till you have 1, you won't wanna have 6. And I'm like, don't be Miss Negative Nancy over there. I really am excited to have kids. Like, I just picture a big kitchen table, lots of food, lots of cooking, lots of learning gardening. I don't know if you guys have heard from other videos, and let me know if this is something you want me to delve into further, but Jordan and I are planning to homeschool, which is really exciting for me, because I think it's just, my life's definitely going to be a mum. And I was about to say just going to be a mum, but that's not the right word to use. That's not the right terminology. I'm not going to be just a mum. I'm going to be a mum, and like, that's going to take up all my time, and I'm very happy for that to happen. So yeah, I don't know. We're really excited. And I know that there's going to be tough times ahead, and I know that every season comes with its own difficulties, but I guess that's life in general, isn't it? Like, no need to be negative about it. More like, yeah, expect challenging times, but be excited for the growth that will happen through that, and just be excited for other seasons that are going to come, and just enjoy the present things in that current season instead of wishing it away. I think that's going to be one of my main focuses, is spending time with the Lord every morning, asking him to help me to like see the blessings in this current season. Like, in every little season I'm in, even the really hard long day seasons where I'm not getting much sleep, like, God, help me to see the blessings in this season, and help me to really make the most of each moment here right now, instead of like wishing things away or wishing things were different. So I guess that's my hope and my prayer, and I would love your prayers too, and your positive words. I don't really like negative words, but if you feel like you have to say something negative, I'll let you come at me, bro. and I don't mean to be negative about like people warning me about things. Like, I appreciate it for sure. So thank you for that, to everyone who's warned me about like difficult seasons and, you know, like the challenges that can come. I like to be prepared, but I don't like those words spoken over me in the way of, oh, wait until this happens to you, wait until you're feeling this way. And it's like, speak positive words over our lives. Let's like speak encouraging words over each other. We can still warn each other, because I think that's what good friends can do. We can still speak about our own personal experiences, even if they weren't great, but like, don't project it onto other people. I just think that's a massive life lesson. Anyway, that was a bit of an off track kind of thought that I just wanted to share. But now that this video is almost 20 minutes, I figured I better finish it up here. And the other kind of questions that weren't exactly pregnancy related, I would definitely get to them. I'll try and get to them in just another separate video as a whole. So again, if you have other questions that you want me to answer, please let me know. But I just thank you so much for following this journey with me, and I'm excited to take you on the rest of my journey for the rest of my 3rd trimester. Love you guys. Make sure you are subscribed to my channel, because I do post pregnancy updates often, and workouts, recipes, health chats, in all that kind of stuff in general. It's kind of what my life is made up of right now, and so that's what I like to share online. So make sure you are subscribed and like this video, because it really does support my channel. And yeah, leave me a comment if you have any questions, and I shall see you next time. Bye, and say bye, Tilly. Tilly, say bye. Oi. She's too busy sniffing, she's rude. Okay, so I'm here editing my video and about to post it, and I just realized I forgot one of the most important questions. So someone was asking me what is what has been my hardest day or like experience or thing that's gone wrong, like the hardest kind of challenge to overcome for the whole pregnancy. And I had to really think about it because I literally was like, everything's going pretty well. And this was last week when they asked me that. And it hasn't really been, there's been a couple of days where my hips have been really sore and that's just really sucked. Just obviously I must have done something wrong at Pilates or just moved too much the day before or something. I'm not really sure. But then literally the next day I started feeling so sore in one part of my tummy. So I'm going to explain it to you guys. So here's my belly button. I've got an outie. Hello, it's an outie. Anyway, so right beside it, right here, I, no joke, pulled a muscle. And I think it's because we were building a garden out the backyard on the weekend, on Saturday, and I carried a big box full of pot plants. But it was really light. It was really, really, really light. My husband carried the heavy things. I carried the lightest thing, which was just an awkward big box. And I couldn't carry it like front on like you normally would because my belly's in the way. So I carried it like off to the side. And oh, see, I reckon that was definitely it. I was trying to work out what I'd done to myself. I literally called like one of my friends, I messaged her and I was like, explained to her the symptoms. And she's like, maybe go to the hospital just to make sure, because it was literally like just a constant pull in my belly. And my movement and everything was still really good, like my baby's movement. So I wasn't really too stressed about that. But I called the midwife. I called the midwives on call, like the maternity ward, and I explained the symptoms and I said, it's kind of like a pulled muscle, like when you've hurt your calf and like you pulled a muscle. And she's like, it could definitely be that because you've got a bigger surge of relaxin in your body now, because the whole pregnancy, relaxin is the hormone that helps your body to relax and get ready for labor and everything, to push your baby out, you know. Anyway, so around this time, like another sudden surge comes in, and she said it could just be that like you just did one wrong movement. She's like, it can even happen from as simple as coughing without like engaging yourself properly or in a bad position or sneezing or something. But I think it was from carrying that box. So the whole of Sunday, I sat down, ignore my washing because it's a rainy day today. I sat down on my new rocking chair for the whole day. I made myself sit the whole day. So I didn't run on Saturday, Sunday. So I did it on Saturday. Didn't run Saturday, Sunday, on Monday or Tuesday. 4 days in a row I took off running, and I didn't even go to Pilates on the Monday, and then the Tuesday I just did a really light session. And so now it's Friday and I feel amazing. I feel really good. So I feel like I rested a lot, but the hardest day probably was that Sunday. Even though it sounds so lame, like, oh, boo-hoo, Raya, you had to sit down for a whole day. But anyone who knows me well knows how hard it is for me to sit down for a whole day. So I just had to answer that question. I had to answer that question here. So I'm sorry that I already did the conclusion, so I don't need to do it again. I'll see you next time. Bye.